Hello, and welcome to another season of the UNPL. I'm Zand, and for once, when I'm recording, I'm not alone.
That's right. I'm here as well. Emerald Miner, how's it going, Zand?
It's going so well, Emerald. I'm so excited for this season. It's going to be so crazy. It's so different than I feel like we normally play. So, super excited to get into it. So, if you want, we can talk rules, and then we can go over the team we drafted for the Summer Slam.
Excellent, excellent. Let's hop into it real quick. So over here, we're mixing things up. So I don't know if you guys have seen before, this is a multi-battle league. So we got 8 teams, each split into 2 coaches each. So there's still a total of 16 coaches, 1 division. But we're doing multi-battles, and we got 150 points. I've never seen so many points.
I
This
know,
is crazy.
right? It's insane.
If we had to get exactly 11 Pokemon, so a lot of foresight and planning going into this.
Mhm.
And like I said, multi-battle format. Here's how it works. Each of us brings 4 Pokemon to the preview, and then from there we select 3. So kind of like VGC, except instead of just 4v4, it's still technically 6v6,
Yep.
but 2 coaches on each side. And we each got 2 restricted. So anything goes, basically, bro. We got the freaking Calyrex Shadow. You ever
Yeah.
seen anything like this? This is crazy. We got terastallizing Terapagos.
Mhm.
But every other Mon outside the restricteds can't Terra.
Yep.
And so to kind of balance that, we got Terra Preview and Item Clause. So what do you think in regards to these rules,
Exactly.
Ann?
I think they're pretty crazy, honestly. There's a lot to kind of keep in mind with this rule set. So, a big thing a lot of people hate, ally switch. Completely unusable in these leagues. You will not see ally switch. Dozogiri does not work because of the 2 people. And if one side runs out of Pokemon, that's it. It's a 1v2 in that case. So, I think a lot of this strategization might be actually like focusing down one side. We'll see. But yeah, it's super exciting. It's such a unique way to battle. You've got 2 people like debating how to play at the same time. You got the timer ticking down, so it's gonna be really fun, I'm sure. And
It's gonna be pretty hectic.
best 2 of 3. So we can't just bring a bunch of one-time tricks and hope they all work. We actually have to make a decent all-around team every week.
Yes, the thought processes are gonna go absolutely insane. So I'll
Yes.
be looking forward to everybody's videos. So
Oh yeah.
why don't you introduce us to our first? Oh, I guess we didn't mention we were the first overall pick. We were very fortunate to be in this position.
Yeah.
So what did we choose as our first Pokemon?
Exactly. So we threw around the idea. So I kind of threw Emerald some ideas of, if we want to build around an archetype, we want to build a strong archetype. So the 3 that I kind of had in mind were Miraidon with big electric terrain, only valid electric terrain setter in Gen 9. We had the Kyogre because rain is super strong. And then I was thinking Calyrex Ice. It's not as good in my opinion because it can't Terra, but it's so strong in Trick Room and it's just so strong in general. But we ended up deciding together on Miraidon. It is such a unbelievably strong Pokemon. Electric Dragon, great coverage, hits almost everything, at least for neutral. It's got great options with Choice Specs Assault Vest, but if we wanted to run Protect, we could run Calm Mind. We've got Volt Switch, we've got Snarl, Parabolic Charge. This thing, it's new, it's fun, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to using it. What do you think about it?
It's the cover art Pokemon for Pokemon Violet, and me having chose Pokemon Violet, I fell in love with this thing as soon as I saw it. This thing's crazy busted. It's got freaking Electro Drift, which can be boosted by not only electric terrain, but its ability. It boosts its attack.
Yep.
Can set the terrain for free, so we don't gotta worry about any spores or any sleep or anything like that. It speed ties with mons like Flutter and Xianpao and Koraidon, which is great. Can Volt Switch, pivot out. So many good things, you know. And this
Yes.
can kind of set up our what's it called? Our electric terrain mode.
Yep. Exactly. All right.
So, and because we were the first overall pick, we also got to be at the wheel every single time. So every single pick from here on, just think of them in pairs of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the first Pokemon that we pick from the next pair is going to be Big Lando-T, the former King of Smogon, dethroned by Great Tusk, but
Yeah.
still an excellent Pokemon. Has access to obviously Intimidate. It can U-turn, pivot out. Having that grounded Oh, not well. It's no, it's a flying type, but it's a ground type Pokemon to be immune to Miraidon's discharges, which could prove to be very useful. And yeah, obviously it doesn't have as much as it used to. It doesn't have rock polish like it once did. It doesn't have knockoff anymore.
Mm.
But it has Edgequake and it has U-turn, so pretty solid mon.
Yeah, exactly. I love the Landorus pick. Intimidate's so big in doubles. It's really good for finding the clear amulet, and if there's not one, just slowing down the pace of the opponent's physical attackers. Sets that I think people don't really think about with Landorus-T. It gets a spread move that doesn't hit its teammate in Sanseer Storm now, and Landorus-T's special attack is like not too laughable. Obviously, it's no Lando Eye. It doesn't have sheer force, but it's still, it can run a variety of sets. It's pretty versatile. We could run Scarf with U-turn. We have so many options for this guy. So I'm super excited to see him again. I'm sick of him in singles, but I'm happy to see him in doubles.
It's gonna be pretty hype.
Yeah, for sure.
What did we pick for our third overall pick?
Yeah, so these actually got a little mixed up. So we had to wait, what was it, 14 Pokemon to come back to us, and we were hoping for one specific Pokemon that has more synergy with Miraidon than anything else, and that is the big Iron Hands. Iron Hands, one of the absolute goats of VGC, and pretty much every time it's been legal, I think you see it quite a bit. That unbelievable bulk, like it can live so many hits, doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by super effective hits half the time, especially with an assault vest. It can run a ton of other items though. It's got fake out, of course, absolutely invaluable. It's got great coverage, things like heavy slam and ice punch to hit things that might resist its hits otherwise. And it absolutely adores that electric terrain. We're gonna have an attack boost on it probably most of the time, but we could run a defense boost if we really wanted it to be bulky. And honestly, it's just a great Trick Room countermon. It's so slow, and if our opponents bring Trick Room, they get to deal with Iron Hands going first every time. What do you think about it?
Absolutely love Iron Hands. The times that I've gone to VGC regionals, I've usually had an Iron Hands on my team. And the last time I had a paired with a Charger Bug, setting up electric terrain for this guy, so we are able to get that attack boost. So it's an excellent Pokemon. The fake outs are absolutely critical. And like you said, it gives us an option versus opposing Trick Room. This thing can also have the ability to just like Miraidon, be able to pivot in and out with Volt Switch. It's a nice little dude. He's got that Drain Punch to keep himself nice and healthy. Love this Pokemon.
Yep, so good. All right, so after that, 14 more Pokemon go. Comes back to us. What do we take next?
We had to be able to get more of these electric terrain mons, so we got none other than Closed Casket Iron Bundle. This boy here is just a 1 point faster than all those base 135s at 136. So we who cares about the speed ties, bro? We could just outspeed them, and as long as we land our Hydro Pump, we're good. Or we also got of course, Ice Beam, which can hit pretty hard. Freeze Dry, so we don't care about those dang water types that might otherwise kind of wall us. This thing can flip, turn out. It can Icy Wind. So many cool moves. It's not particularly a mon with coverage, but guess what? Because of the Terra rules, this thing can Terra. Can you imagine that? So we'll have all the coverage that we need potentially. And of course, with that electric terrain boost, could potentially get that what's it called, Quark Drive going.
Yep.
What do you think?
Exactly. I love the Quark Drive. I think we could really do some fun things with that. If we wanted to throw people off, run Scarfed with the special attack Quark Drive, we've got that as an option. Bundle has some utility. I know it has like Encore, if I'm not mistaken. It's got a few other tools in its toolkit. So I think it's great. Like you said, outrunning all those Pokemon that would speed time Miraidon just puts us in such a good spot. We can have that Quark Drive. Even outside of terrain, if we want to run a booster energy, we can keep our crazy speed. Bro may not be the bulkiest guy in the world, but he could just run a Focus Sash, So I think a ton of utility in Bundle. 80% of the time, I think it's one of the best. 20% of the time, it's a little mid, but we'll make it work.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so what have we got to go along with this Iron Bundle after this?
Yeah, so we, I think, went pretty hard into our budget, but we wanted some redirection. We wanted a nice fairy type, and I thought Clefable made a lot of sense. Also, Clefable was crazy cheap, and I know we were back and forth a little. We were kind of talking Clefable versus Clefairy. Clefairy is a fantastic doubles Pokemon. I think Wolfglick has made that very clear. Friend Guard is a busted ability. But in draft,
Yeah.
I feel like Taunt is just going to be brought against us every week. If we bring a Clefairy, I think it's just going to shut it down. It's not going to do anything. So we might as well bring something with at least a little bit of offensive presence. Clefable is going to do that. It's got the Magic Guard Unaware, 2 amazing abilities for it. It's got, reasonable bulk, great typing. Helps take the pressure off our other Pokemon. That Frail Bundle suddenly not getting hit by any single target moves. We've got things that can set up with Sword Stance, things that can set up with Calm Mind, and Clefable will just take all the hits for us. So I think it's fantastic. It has it has so many utility moves. It has got the Helping Hand, the Follow Me, the Encore, Icy Wind, Knockoff. So many awesome utility moves.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing too is it's not because it's not a Clefairy, we're not obligated to have to run a Violite every single week, so it gives us a lot more freedom in general, which is especially needed in the draft scene. And Clefable, former Demolition Force Pokemon. Have you ever used Clefable before in draft? I've used it to great success.
I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever touched Clefable. I think it's one that's evaded me through the years somehow.
It's a tough mon to get. You got to get it pretty early on, but
Yep.
it was great at using Wish and Baton Pass. I guess it could only really do that to one side though in this. So, but it'd be great Pokemon like you said, and lots of utility.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And following this, we got our Dragon type, we got our Fairy type, we got to get our Steel type to round out that Dragon Fairy Steel core. So I got another former Demolition Force member coming up, and that is going to be Solgaleo. So this is our second restricted Pokemon. We waited a good while to get this thing. We're like, oh, what are we going to get as our second restricted? But Solgaleo, its typing, well, that's as much as I love psychic types, Psychic Steel isn't the best, but it does have a lot of coverage moves. Its attack and special attack are both fairly solid. The biggest thing is its bulk, that beautiful bulk, and its ability, full metal body. So built-in clear amulet. We don't care about no intimidates or none of that. We are free to try to do what we want. Basically, it has teleport. I don't know how much teleport is going to come into play, but ever since the great move reset of Generation 9, we got to take the teleport mons where we can get them.
Exactly.
Lots of great other utility moves and lots of coverage, like I was saying. Any other thoughts on Solgaleo, Zan?
Yeah, I thought this was super cool pick. So they were essentially like 4 tiers of restricteds, and Solgaleo was the cheapest. So we got to use those points elsewhere, which was great because I think Solgaleo is a great value. I honestly think it's underrated compared to some of the other Pokemon on that board. Like, I think Solgaleo is amazing. We've got the Trick Room. This is kind of our counter Trick Room mon. If we could run it slow if we wanted. We've got things like Wide Guard on this guy. We've got Flame Charge to boost our speed. We've got, like he said, oodles of coverage. Like, as many moves as we could ever want. We will be struggling to fit 4 moves on this Solgaleo, and I think it's just going to be such a good all-arounder that stats are just kind of insane to look at. Like, it's so funny. I'm really excited to use them.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
What did we have up next, my friend?
So after that, I think, yeah, this is our second of a wheel again. We decided to go with the Volcarona. Don't ask me how Volcarona made it to round 7 because I have no idea. But I was looking at our roster. We've got the 1 redirector, and redirection is a great thing in doubles as far as I'm aware. So I thought, we throw on another that's a little more offensive, has other tools in the tool belt. So I think Volcarona is fantastic at 2 things: dealing a ton of damage and being really annoying, especially to physical attackers, between Flame Body, Will-O-Wisp, and redirecting with Rage Powder, as well as some other tools. We've got the Struggle Bug as like a spread move. We've got Heat Wave, so this is going to be kind of our spread move spammer if we need it. Decent other coverage, and surprisingly, maybe Tailwind Setters sometimes to help us with our speed control, because otherwise, maybe not the best thing in the world. But yeah, I like it a lot. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's one of those mons that sometimes you forget it has some of these moves. Like, as a singles player that has Tailwind and Rage Powder, we're still used to it just clicking Quiver Dance and sweeping with Fire Dance.
Oh,
But it's got a lot of great moves. It's got that Struggle Bug that could reduce the attack. It's got Heat Wave, like you said, that can dish out damage to both members. So wildly different than how it's used in singles, but it should be a very exciting Pokemon. And that Flame Body between Intimidate and bulky physical mons like Iron Hands and Solgaleo, physical attackers are going to have a tough time versus us.
Oh, they're gonna hate us. And another thing is Volcarona. One of the things that restricts it in doubles is Rock Slide. 4 times weak to it. Even if it's a spread move, it's gonna take a lot. But like you said in the beginning, only one of the non-restricted gets to Terra. If we both bring our restricted every week, that's only one of 2 Pokemon that Terra. So we can Terra this guy all we want, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's the great thing is that both of our mons, both sides get Terra. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of terastallization in each of these matches.
Absolutely.
So Pokemon number 8. Let me see. I need to pull back up the doc on my phone to see what it was.
No worries.
Yes, of course. So following this, what out of all the teams, there was a lot of different weather that was going on. We got a lot of rain teams, sun teams, all type of stuff. So we need some way to try to mitigate that and not just have us get steamrolled by these oppressive weathers. So in order to get us a weather that could fit some of our mons, such as the Iron Bundle, we went with young Abomasnow, who is going to be able to set that snow. I was thinking hail, but snow with snow warning.
Yep.
And also, of course, access to Aurora Veil. Bundle could also potentially use Aurora Veil when paired with this thing. And just start slamming blizzards, bro. Just blizzard, blizzard, blizzard. And also has priority and Ice Shard. I assume, does this thing get freeze dry? I can't remember.
I don't think so, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate, but you know what? Who cares? Because Bundle gets it. So,
yep.
Yeah. Biggest things is snow and Aurora Veil. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, hey, who can play against a well-placed freeze? Like if we're spamming double blizzard in the snow, not missing, the odds of us getting freezes are astronomical. And yeah, this just gives Bundle so much synergy. And like you said, I think over half the teams have either sun or rain, so we really needed something to get in the weather war. And obviously, Abomasnow is not the end-all be-all versus sun. It's gonna really struggle against those fire types, but hey, we could just Terra Water, and who cares? So yeah, I'm really excited to use Obama again. I've used it a few times this generation, weirdly enough.
Yep. And that snow is also, thanks to the buff that it got in this gen, is going to give Iron Bundle even more defense than it already has. Same with Abomasnow. And if we were to, let's say, Terra Ice, that was a strategy that I used with my friend. Was Terra Ice Iron Hands. That thing would just be super duper bulky behind Veil. That thing would never die, and it would get stab Ice Punches. It's crazy.
Oh, that's just evil. That is crazy. Yeah, so after that, I mean, Obama was relatively cheap, but we were kind of slim pickings with the points here. So as we tried to round out our
really
team,
had to try to go for the budget picks here.
yeah, we were saving money on these last few. I think actually these last few were like 8 points, and like you said, original budget was 150, so we were big spenders. But to round out this wheel pick, we ended up going with Morgrem. So I don't play a whole lot of VGC, I'll be honest with you. I watch a ton of VGC, and I've noticed Grimmsnarl everywhere. People love the Grimmsnarl, either the screen set or just the super obnoxious like foul play spirit break. It's got the taunt, the parting shot fake outs. It's like it's a dream for doubles. Morgrem is essentially Grimmsnarl, but you have to run like Eviolite, like Clay, or Focus Ash really, and not really an offensive presence, but that's fine. We don't really need it. We have so much offense on the rest of this team that we can have one more passive mon, I feel like, and it'll be okay. So this thing is just great support. It's got other tools I didn't even mention, but it's every week we could run a different set on this guy. It makes so much use out of, I think, 4 points. So yeah, super worth it.
Yep, just 4 points. Who needs to have a high attack stat where we can just click foul play? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, so there we go. So we've only got 6 points left, and we got to make them count. So kind of going through here with what we could pick, we ended up going with Tauros as the next Pokemon. Just as kind of, think back to Gen 1. Wasn't this thing like one of the best normal types in the whole game?
It was, yeah. It was all the way up there.
Yep. So it's got access to Intimidate, which is going to be absolutely vital in VGC, of course. It's got a good amount of those coverage moves. Going back to its Generation 1 days, like I think it gets Flamethrower and Flame Ice Beam. I can't remember all the moves, but I think like a good amount of moves that are boosted by sheer force, and of course Body Slam, which get paras, and it's decently fast. I mean, base 110 speed, right? Or is it
Yeah.
100? I
No,
can't
no,
remember. No,
it
it's
yeah,
the
it's
it's the
110.
Paldean ones that are 100. So yeah,
Yep.
110 speed. That's a solid speed tier to hit. Um, so overall, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Tauros.
Yeah, I mean, Tauros is a very straightforward mon. It gets a lot of cool moves. It gets sheer force or intimidate, and yeah, we needed that speed. I think our speed tiers right now were Miraidon 135, Bundle 136, and then Volcarona at 100. So we really kind of wanted something to bridge that gap a little bit. And then our last Pokemon, we're chilling with 2 points, and our only Tailwinder currently is Volcarona, which I would not say is going to want to run that every week. So we decided to pick up the Fletchinder. So little baby Talonflame. Pretty much does everything Talonflame does except damage. So it's kind of like Morgrem, where we picked 2 pretty prominent VGC Pokemon and knocked him down a notch, knocked him down in evolution. And honestly, that priority tailwind is great, especially when we go up against teams that don't have like a dedicated trick room mode. I feel like that's something that we want to avoid. But we've got things like the Prankster Feather Dance. We've got non-Prankster on things like Will-O-Wisp, Feint to break through Protects. Just a lot of useful tools on this little guy. And I think for 2 points, he's hitting well above his weight class.
Absolutely. And another common move, or not uncommon move, that this thing gets, which is pretty cool, is it gets Quick Guard. So could come in handy versus priority moves, and combine that with Prankster, or what? Well, Gale Wings Tailwind, but priority Tailwind. It's gonna be a excellent Pokemon to have, and for just 2 points,
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely. I don't know if you've watched the I don't even remember what league it was at this point, but there's one James Beck has been in, and he was making Fletchinder look so good every week he was bringing it. So yeah, very good Pokemon.
Excellent. So, yeah, this is the team that we have been able to draft. This is the San Diego Hydremulation Force. So we combined our 2 names into one, and I'm pretty excited to use these mons in battle.
Yeah, say that team name 5 times fast, see what happens. But yeah, super excited. We've got our logo in the corner. I think it's one of the better logos. That might be fighting words with the other teams, but I think it's adorable and good half and half representation.
It has a lot of character.
It has so much character. And yeah, we all had to make our logos in paint. So there are a couple artists that really went above and beyond, but everybody else, you know, we're having a good time. We know Pokemon more than art, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Nice.
All right. So look forward to seeing videos for the UNPL SummerSlam on both me and Zan's channel. And yeah, any other closing words, my friend?
No, we'll see you all in the battles. We're looking forward to it. We hope you're looking forward to it, and we'll see you there.
All right, see ya.